What up? Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about crowdfunding, we talk about Kickstarter, Indiegogo, how you can smash your goal when it comes to a crowdfunding campaign. And to me, this is one of the most important parts when it comes to your campaign, which is your video. So specifically, if you're trying to do an Indiegogo campaign, we're gonna be covering how you actually get a killer, amazing video to go out there so that you can raise funds effectively using crowdfunding. And it's coming up right after this. All right, so let's talk about the Indiegogo video, right? So for some people, this is like the bane of their existence, right? So like they don't wanna do a video, I'm not interested in doing a video. Other people, this is like one of the funnest parts of doing a crowdfunding campaign. So I definitely have different styles when it comes to my coaching students, and some people love it, some people don't wanna appear on camera, some people wanna be like the star of the show. It really does depend. And there are also so many different categories when it comes to running an Indiegogo campaign. So you could be doing something, for example, when it comes to technology gadgets and gizmos, you could be doing something related to comic books, you could be doing something related to new game that you're coming out with. It could be even more of like an artist kind of a thing where you're putting out a novel or something like that. You're trying to raise money for a theater project. A lot of people raise money for theater campaigns as well as film campaigns when it comes to Indiegogo. So there are a lot of different types of projects. So I'm going to kind of talk about, first of all, how you can get a video. Do you even need a video? And some of the different categories and things that you should be aware of when it comes to that. Does that sound good? If it sounds good, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're liking this video. Let's get into it. Okay. So the first thing is, do you even need a freaking video? So you definitely need a video if you're in the categories like technology, gadgets, gizmos. If you're in the film category particularly, you also are going to need a video. When it comes to comic books, it's gonna vary. It's kind of a 50-50, I'd say, when it comes to this. And also when it comes to like more graphic novels and that kind of style, you can usually sometimes get away without even having a video. However, I would recommend investing in one if you can, just because it elevates your overall perception of the campaign. And you can also communicate more, right? Video is one of the most powerful mediums, and you're watching a video, man. So obviously this is something that people love to seek out. So I would recommend it, however, it is not required. I've also have seen tabletops and board games not necessarily succeed without necessarily having a video, right? And I've also seen them succeed when it comes to just having a very bare bones video where even it's just a voiceover or even the creator is not in it. So it's gonna really vary from category to category. If you wanna get an exact answer to your specific project, you should book a one-on-one coaching call with me down below. And we could talk about your project and also how to be successful, as well as lay that all out and give you those homework and action items related to that. So that being said, let's just say that you're going forward with a video. First of all, it's deciding on the style of video which you're going to get. So different types of styles, right? So I'm going to kind of break this down. You want to think of this as though you are writing a script, okay? When you have a script, you have voiceover, you have locations, you have what's actually being displayed on the screen or the visual effects of that script. You also have, of course, things like props, etc. So there are different angles as well that you might include and things that you might illustrate there. So the easiest thing you can do is just to kind of get an Excel document or to get a Google Doc and to begin to start writing this out. I have a lot of free templates out there in my course, Smash Your Kickstarter Goal, which you can check out down below. So when it comes to this also applies to Indiegogo. So basically, when it comes to the video, right, you're gonna have voiceover, you're gonna have typically things that are happening on the screen. You might also have props, you're gonna have locations, right? And you're gonna have some, like I said, visual effects, and you might have some other different things when it comes to actors, right, that are involved in this. So the first thing I want to think about is, okay, what are the resources that I'm going to need to include in this video? If I have a product, obviously I'm going to need to show the product, right? In what environments am I going to show the product? How am I going to build up the value? I'm going to associate it with certain types of materials or certain types of colors or certain contrast. What kind of feel do I want to give? What is maybe the script? Maybe starting to write out a bare bones script of that. Am I going to do the voiceover myself? Am I not even going to have a voiceover when it comes to the video? Am I going to appear on the video itself? These are all little questions that you need to answer when you're putting together a video for Indiegogo. And like I said, depending on the category, some of you might decide to not even be in the video, right? And others might decide like, I gotta be in the video. And some of you might be like, I want more of like a commercial style video that's just really functioning, just really focusing on the features, the functions, the benefits, and the promise overall of the product. When you actually decide and you solidify this concept and you're like, okay, I'm ready to at least put this down, I have this down, first of all, you get someone to look over this, right, before you go and you actually go out there and execute this style of video. But the next thing you're gonna wanna think is, okay, Now that I have these different resource requirements, right, how am I going to get this video done? Does the person, for example, need to have access to the product, right? If I've invented a new product, like I've invented a new vase here, right, when it comes to my plant here, do I need to then have the person who's making video of this product be on scene, right? If I'm going to be having actors in the video, where are they going to be? What are the locations of the shoot going to be? If it's just going to be a voiceover and just kind of showing some different stuff that's happening on the screen, maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be in the same place at the same time. If I'm literally just showing how a comic book is, different pages of that, maybe I don't even need audio. I could just have some music over it, right? So you want to think about, okay, given the statement in fact one, which is like assembling the resources, now what is next? How am I going to put those together? How am I going to begin to schedule this and begin to bring this to someone and be like, can you execute this style? This can also get a little bit tricky depending on the category which you're in. So let's just say, for example, you have a physical product which you are working on, and that could even be something like a book, right? It might not actually be done yet. So you might already have, like, for example, a prototype, but you might not have like the fully finished working prototype. And that's typically where, when it comes to my coaching students, they come to me and they're like, Sal, I don't know what to do at this point in time, right? So there are different solutions to that, but one thing you should keep in mind is that your timeline when it comes to getting this video filmed needs to incorporate as well the product timeline into it naturally. So if you don't yet have the product, it's going to be hard to shoot certain portions of the video. However, it should begin to become planned out. The easiest thing you can do as well is just start to look at some other videos in your category and get a feel for how they're doing it. Are they fast-paced? Are they focused on features and benefits? Are they more storytelling in nature? Are they contrasting what it is they're doing in some way? Do they have people who are speaking to the camera? Do they have people who are maybe talking to someone who's interviewing them and the camera angle is over here? Just get a sense for how those videos are done. For example, in the film category, typically people are talking way more about the actual story, why this story is coming about, why this is an important story to tell, the characters, the morals, etc. When it comes to more of a physical product, it usually is a little bit less on the actual story of the creator. However, that also does vary. Usually it's more about features, benefits, functionality, what does it do? It's much more in the commercial style when it comes to an Indiegogo campaign video. Now that you're beginning to get a little bit more solidified, and again, you can check out the link down below, smash your crowdfunding goal, smash your Kickstarter goal, which has a lot of these resources which you're probably going to need. When you're getting more and more solidified when it comes to this, next is begin to hire your help. So some of you might be like, oh dude, I wanna do this myself. I wanna film this myself. I wanna do the audio myself. I wanna do editing myself. And I have students who love to do that and will end up doing that. Other people are like, Sal, I do not want to handle this, right? I don't want to figure this out. I don't want to have to go out there and have to make, camera angles and get into the weeds and actually film these things and edit these things and do color grading and all that kind of stuff. I want to hire someone else to do this. So what I would do is I would take that document, which you should have in front of you, which are the resources, the things you're going to need, right? When it comes to the script, when it comes to the actual voiceover, all the props, etc. So you're going to take that and you're first going to say, what can I create myself? Am I gonna get my friends to be the actors, right? Am I gonna use props that I already have? Am I gonna use locations that I already have access to? Am I going to use, I have a friend who's a videographer, I have a friend who does photography, right? And he might be able to make a video for me, or she might be able to. Just look at what you need and identify what resources you already have access to. Now, I did a podcast recently with a guy who raised multiple six figures with his Indiegogo Kickstarter campaign. And he came to me and he was like, dude, I actually filmed all of these on location, which is my actual office place, right? So it wasn't like some fancy location they had to rent out. And what does that do? That decrease the cost of the video. Because if they didn't have that, they'd have to rent out the event venue for a certain period of time, maybe 3 hours or whatever it is, or maybe even 2 hours if they can get a really quick shoot in, right? And have everyone show up on time when it comes to the actors, which doesn't always happen, right? So you need to make sure that you list out, again, all those resources, you identify what you already have access to or what can you get yourself, and then what are the things that I need help with. That's sort of the next stage in this process.
Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillrite is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillrite today. Link in the description.
Once you've done that, right? So you've identified now what I really do need help with and also what can I bring to the table. Next, it's about headhunting. It's about talent scouting, okay? So a lot of students will come to me, and this is kind of the biggest area where they have difficulty with. This is something you want to talk about. Again, we can do a coaching call related to this. However, I will provide a couple of thoughts here, okay? Number one, are you going to have the video production, we'll call it a shoot if you want to, like, do you want to have this event, do you want to have this shoot happen in your hometown, in the location where you are? Do you want to have a videographer on site? Do you want to have the photographer on site? Do you want to have people, the creative people on site doing and filming and getting this video done, as well as doing the editing of that video on site? Is that something that you're interested in, right? Because that's going to really be different when it comes to talent scouting, because you're going to be looking more so in your local area. I have other examples of people where they're maybe doing the shoot in person, but the editing is happening with a different firm, right? Or the editing is being taken care of in a different way, in a different location, which maybe also saves them some money, right? So you have the shoot, which is like getting the raw assets and raw material of that. You have the editing as well, and sort of the polishing that goes into that. Now, as well, when it comes to the shoot, like I said, might be in person. However, a lot of people are doing this thing, which is crazy. I know it's insane. They're using the mail, right? The mail, it's a real thing. You can actually ship products to other people via the mail. They can open it up and they can make a video with that product. And I'm kind of like joking here, right? But you could just be there when it comes to being on the phone call or being on a Zoom call and just supervising the process, or you have someone there in that location who's also supervising it, or if you already have a firm, right, that you're working with, they can maybe just do that for you, and you have certain expectations when it comes to the actual output or the result. So you could send your product, whether that's a book or whether that's a gadget or a gizmo or a design product or a board game, whatever, you could maybe send this to the creative talent. They are going to maybe organize getting the actor or the actresses. Maybe they're going to get the shoot done. They're going to get it filmed. Maybe they also do the editing, and then they send it back to you. And you're interfacing with them in that way. And you're using the mail, obviously, to ship it to them so they can actually do that. Now, the third thing that typically comes up at this point in time is like, Sal, first of all, thank you so much for this advice, right? And this is something that I can tell you so many people struggle with. And I've literally had people who will spend like $15,000 on a video. I had someone who was about to spend $20,000 on a video, and based on what I obviously share in Smash Your Kickstarter Goal, they were able to cut that down dramatically. So you should not be spending that level of money on a particular pitch video for Indiegogo, okay? It's way overblown, it's way overpriced. You need to be working with people who know what they're doing, okay? So that being said, right, once you have this, one of the other common questions that I typically get is about rendering, is about like 3D animation, is about whiteboard explainer videos, is about doing something that's a little bit more virtual in nature. And typically this question comes up because the product is not yet ready. So there are campaigns that I've worked with, that I've worked on, that have been coaching students of mine who have had renderings in their video, and it's gone fine, okay? But usually they're able to actually demonstrate the functionality of the product, the design of the product with real world photos and with real world video if they are asked, because that is one of the requirements of doing an Indiegogo campaign. However, it also depends. It's what stage you want to launch on Indiegogo. When you actually create a campaign, you can see the different stages there. So it could be idea stage, right? Or it's actually a working prototype, or it's shipping already. You can see the different stages. In order to get a certain stage, you might have to demonstrate, for example, that the engineering actually is working with that product, or you do have a finished product in that way. So the only thing I would say is that if you're going to be doing renderings, you're doing something virtual like that, first of all, that's very sticky when it comes to Kickstarter. You don't want to do that. When it comes to Indiegogo, it's really going to just be based on the stage at which you are launching this campaign. And that's really going to inform that choice. But the more that you can have a real world, finished, fully finished, a little bit close to their product, it's going to get people much more excited, going to get them way more likely to back your campaign. And it's one of those things that I highly recommend for a lot of my students out there. So last thing is, once you have all of these assets and you have your first draft, that's really when you're going to begin to go through the editing phase, right? And if you've done a really good job with your script, and again, I recommend getting that looked over at a certain point in time before you actually go out there and film it and execute upon this. you're gonna then have this sort of version 1 basically of the video. I would recommend really going through with that video with a fine-tooth comb. For example, I've had people that I've worked with where they will miss certain frames in the video that I see and I'm like, dude, you gotta get this fixed, right? Like the editor didn't do a good job, or there's an issue here with the filming, and you just get it fixed, and then it's a much more polished kind of scene. So really go through it. I'm talking about like frame by frame throughout that video, second by second. Really pay attention. Get a cup of coffee or get a Diet Coke and get some popcorn, right? And really go through this and watch it and pay attention as well to how you're feeling. When is your attention lagging? What are you doing with your eyes, right? Pay attention to all of that, because that's really gonna be your last chance before this goes out there to the public, where so many people are gonna watch this. And if you watch my videos and you apply the techniques we talk about, you get tons of people on that page. You're gonna get a river of traffic there. And you wanna make sure that when the public shows up, when you get that huge crowd of people, that they have the best experience possible, because that's really what that's gonna determine whether or not they become a backer of your campaign. Okay, so if you're interested, I got a weekly newsletter down below. You can check it out. It's free, the Killer Crowdfunding Tips newsletter. I'm gonna include a link to that down below. In addition, if you wanna book a one-on-one coaching call with me, go and check out that link down below. And also, if you wanna join my course, Smash Your Kickstarter Goals, has a lot of stuff when it comes to this, as well as how to actually go about launching a campaign. Some of the stuff that's just not talked about publicly that I share with you behind the scenes, pull back the curtain, share it all with you. I think this is gonna be one of the most incredible investments that you would ever make when it comes to doing a new product launch. And honestly, a lot of the stuff that you learn is almost like a crash course in how to get funding, how to get traffic, how to get people to buy your product, how to get people to back you. And I'm telling you, I have students who come back and be like, dude, I learned so much in that program, and it's something that I still apply years and years into the future. So you can do multiple launches. You can apply a lot of these things as well to your online store when you actually go live. These are really some of the secrets of crowdfunding that I share with you. So I hope that you enjoyed. Again, my name is Salvador Briggman. Give me a thumbs up, come subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you next time.